they were starting bombing, and I lived up on the head down, and I went down to the fire station because we was always told that if ever planes started to bomb the place, we had to man our thing, because Newport would go down to the Cows and different places like that, and we would only man Newport. We wasn't supposed to have allowed gone down to Cows because they didn't know the second wave was coming. So that was it, but that story, I should never forget it.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Yes.
It's wonderful to hear your recollections of that night.
Yeah.
When you left Newport and then came to Cowes, tell us about what happened.
But the first attack had ended,
right,
and we went down between the two, because that's when they said there was nothing going to happen. So the bombs was the heavy bombs was coming down, and of course the Polish boat was alongside. She was putting up a barrage. So they never really landed any bombs near us because they couldn't get near it, because they did shoot down two, I think. I think they said they shot down two planes. But because as the planes was coming over, they put a barrage up that they couldn't get through. The German planes couldn't get near Cows. They had to fly so high.
How long did the attack last? Do you remember?
Well, no, I can't remember that now. I know we was where the building we was under there outing by where the boat was sort of, say, over there where that is, and there's a building was a light there. That was Marvin's yard, part of Marvin's yard it was. We was in, and I know that the bombs was coming down, and they said that we water, and I went through some garden, and there were a run of beans that we jumped through because we had said we had to get away from a bit from the boat because it was dangerous, because the guns were so red hot, and I can prove it. So I actually seen them. They was red hot. They was putting water on them all the time.
They were firing non-stop, weren't they?
Yeah, non-stop, yes. Of course, they had actually the boat was in there for a refit, and they told them they wasn't allowed to do any firing or anything, ammunition. They had it all stored or put in a certain place for it. But the pilot said that, no, we're going to fire, we're going to get the unit, we're going to stop these planes. And they was in there for a refit, you see.
So he broke the regulations, Captain Fransky broke the regulations, didn't he?
Yes, the Polish man, the captain, broke the regulations.
And if he hadn't have done that, what would have happened to the Isle of Wight? What would have happened to Cowes and East Cowes?
Oh, they've been bombed. Been flat, completely flat, because the number of planes that came over was terrific.
When you saw the planes in the air, how did you feel?
Well, I actually seen the planes in the air because they put the barrage up. They were saying, and I did the searchlight they had there. I did see one or two get into the searchlight because we were spraying the water over, and it was more looking at that than he was up at the sky. Because I was only 19 then.
So what were you doing? You were manning the hoses?
Actually, I was number one. I was number one in our little crew, because there was only 5 of us, you see, in that, because we had a Bedford Stork pump on a little trailer, and it was one of the London taxis they brought down for us to have to tow the pump. We only had it on the trailer. I don't know if you ever seen any. No, it's just a little pump on a trailer.
Such a tiny pump and such huge fires. That must have been quite a battle.
Yes, oh yes. Well, because there was other pumps other places, but we was just actually sent to Marvin's Yard there because they knew the building was getting the light where near the plane, but the boat.
What could you hear that night? It must have been horrifically loud.
Oh yes, you couldn't speak to one another. No. Because the Polish boat was putting up such a barrage that they never stopped firing. It was, I mean, I've seen the pictures of the boat, and they got guns all the way around, haven't they? Well, they had, I think everyone was firing. They had enough ammunition for that, and I don't know how long it lasted. I expect it lasted.
I've read it lasted about 4 hours.
No, never lasted 4 hours for bombing, I shouldn't think. I don't know, I can't tell you that. I've no recollection of time then. I think time was nothing to me then, was it? I mean, we was out trying out. We hated the 1-1 building quite. There we had hose pipes, and I was number 1 in our crew. And I had the branch. And we had a messenger. Well, he shouldn't have been there. We should have took the messenger. But when we there, it was Bill. His name was Bill Larkham, and he was a bit of a lad. And so when we went to go to leave Knighton, because we was stationed at the Buddow Inn. Yes, Buddow Inn, that's right. And they had a dance floor there, and they commandeered that for our unit, see. And we was just there, and he was a messenger, and because he hadn't supposed to gone out on fires, but he was a little nipper, and he was a bit of a what shall I say? Can I hardly explain to me? Bit of a wild nipper. When we got they loaded up all our stuff on there and put the pump onto the trailer, and the driver got in. We went off, and because he jumps in, we didn't know he'd done it.
Wow.
And do you know, we couldn't. So when we had the crew, when we assembled to go home, we couldn't find him. So I said, "Where's Bill?" "Oh, crikey, he's missing." And of course, he was underage to be there, you see. And we thought, "Oh, what the devil are we going to do?" So I said, "Well, I was number 1. I think the oldest one there actually." And I said to him, "Well, I'm going to go." I sent Bill down to say we never had no water, to go and see what they're doing down the bottom, what's the hold up, because we had 2 or 3 more firemen there with us, men on the line, you see. And if there's anything wrong, we had to send a messenger. Well, that would send another one down to see what was wrong. And so, as I went by, I see a pair of Wellington boots stuck out between a bag. It was all cement, was in 100-weight bags then, and there was a big heap of bags there. And I said, "Oh look, there's somebody in here." And I said, "Anybody there?" And it was Bill Larkham. And where he dived in out the way because of the bombs was getting so bad, he dived in and frightened he was. We had to pull him out backwards, and he wouldn't move.
He was so scared.
Yes.
It must have been terrifying hearing all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes.
And did you just stop thinking? Did you just man the pumps and do everything that you could?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And if it wasn't for the Polish destroyer, what do you think would have happened?
Oh, the boat hadn't been there with that, put up that barrage up. It was flattened caves, because when I could look up at the searchlights and see the planes up there, they was coming over, they was going right over there. They was missing cows.
They couldn't get to Cowes because
No,
of the
no,
destroyer.
actually, not Cows Park, no.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your experiences.
Yes,
Thank you. It's been, I know. I really appreciate
your
it.
hand's cold.
It's, your story has really, it's moved all of us here, I
Yeah.
think. Everything stopped.
Yeah.
Even the telephone stopped while you were speaking. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Yes,
It's an extraordinary
yeah,
story.
yes.
And it's wonderful what you achieved.
Yes.
It's absolutely incredible.